Hello. Yeah, I got it. Okay, I'm good.
All right, welcome back here as I do the roll of the rim to win over here.
They're not sponsors.
I know.
So you're rounding up the
Man, that would be
We have the hold on.
that would be a
put the phone
great
here.
sponsor.
No, right?
Let me put the phone here so we can cover the sponsor
Exactly.
logo, and it'll be
The
okay.
non-sponsor logo.
Ironically, his handle is actually covering the cup, so you can't actually see
Nice.
him.
Well done.
Imagine if we were only sponsored by the roll up rim thing only.
That'd be fine.
Not the more, just the
I'll take-
event.
But I'll take the 1 month of sponsorship.
So what do we get? We get a month of sponsorship and a bazillion cups.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Just park the truck of cups, and they'll do fine.
Oh!
You lost, Mokan. Yes, but I was. I
I won.
That's interesting.
A car?
A latte.
Oh, nice.
Cool. You don't drink coffee.
All right, I want a
That's not
latte.
chocolate milk.
Coffee. You don't? Why do you keep bringing coffee then?
I don't drink coffee.
I thought you took one each week.
All right, I want a latte. All right. Okay, welcome back here to Calling the Audible.
You have a
It
girlfriend?
is-
She'll be happy.
I have a girlfriend. I have a friend who's a girl.
Hi, friend is a girl.
That's
She
right.
will not be happy to hear this.
That's right.
DM, you know which clip to make this week?
Shut up. All right, welcome back here.
What is your status at the moment exactly?
I'm not behind my usual spot right now because I'm pouring
unknown.
the coffee.
That's unknown.
What's that
Unknown.
Mitch Hedberg line? Like, I don't have a girlfriend, but I do have someone who would be upset to hear me say that.
And this is Dip 6 for you guys.
Enough of this smorgasbord of hating and Mocon here. All right, it is
We don't
6
hate.
and
It's
60
funny.
here. Let's dive into the week that was, as I put the clock on officially for us. There we go. The week
Do
that
we have-
was.
Do we have to wait this time, Mokan?
No, maybe like another minute or so. The week that was in Div 6 and 6D with Peeze Delarizzi. We'll be
Hi,
joined
Peeze.
by, I guess, I assume, CFFN will join us as we'll talk to him about the
The
week.
bald and the beautiful.
A winner.
He serves as the bald component of the show.
Who's the beautiful?
Me, clearly. Obvious.
Wouldn't he be the bald and the beautiful?
He's the bald.
Well, they say bald is the new in thing now, right?
Mo,
for
what's
men?
wrong with you?
Well,
Don't
only
you get the
only
reference?
for people aging and who don't have hair.
Okay.
So those people would say so.
All right. So let's talk about the week that was, though, gentlemen. Peasy, we'll start with you. The week that was, what caught your attention from the scoreboard in Div 6?
It's definitely from the scoreboard this week, MK. My article actually is delayed due to the
Yes, we'll go with delayed.
it's delayed due to an ankle injury. So I wasn't even at the field for my own game. But I do have a lot of information in speaking to people, speaking to scorekeepers and such. So I'll approach it from that angle. The article. There's 2 articles coming out for me this week. They're delayed at the moment
So did
for photography reasons, but they should be out tomorrow morning. But my litany of recaps is the first one, and then some power ranking stuff to come out on the weekend. Practice squad hammered Farmers.
Ooh, yeah.
And I want to focus more on how well Practice Squad is doing than the same narrative we've been saying for Farmers. So Farmers aren't good. Done. No, they don't deserve a song. No Farmers. No song.
They're finished.
Done. Maybe take up agriculture, but it appears flag football unless you revise that roster.
Maybe they're still good with flowers and stuff.
Sorry?
Maybe they're still good with flowers and stuff.
Yeah, potentially. You hope so. The season's coming.
Dun, 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 dun.
But
What was that, Mokan?
Mike Knott, three
Farmers.
touchdowns.
No, no.
And
sorry, I love to cut you off, but did you hear what Mokan sang?
I didn't. I need a jingle.
I was like, what is that? Oh, it's Farmers. I don't know.
Not sponsor us. Thanks, Mo.
I
Open up the horizons here, boys.
I often make fun of Natalia because she can't do the Jaws theme. Yeah, that's the one, that one that everyone knows. So
We're not
she always
sponsored by
gets
Jaws.
she always gets it wrong, but I exaggerate it and make it Scatman. So I play it on like I play it on like the home system. She gets so mad, it's awesome. But yeah, so Nop and Nop. Mike, by the way, awesome law firm. If they're not existent, they're fictional. But Mike Knopp 3 touchdowns and Andrew Knopp adding 3 more sacks on his way to. I think he's gonna break the record for sacks this season.
Oh yeah, you think he's the guy?
He's actually really good. I
No.
saw him rushing Marc-André Desaulniers in for clinkers.
Yep.
And like Marc-André is tall, right? But
Yes.
this guy's also tall. So he took away the middle of the field and he's fast. And Marc-André
sounds
takes the
terrible.
snap back from about 10, 12 yards
That
back.
sounds
Right?
annoying.
Yeah, oh, it's the worst.
I hate tall rushers.
It's the worst thing in the world. But all that to say, the dude's having an amazing season.
20 sacks so far.
Yeah, 20 sacks, and he's got
3 games left.
3 games left. Correct.
29 is the record, by the way, by Zachary Alberts-Gill from Winter 2017 Division 6.
Yeah, he worked so hard. I remember he was emailing the league. Oh, do I make sure my sacks are
Yeah.
He worked so hard to get that sack till it might be crushed.
You
Like,
want
But it's crazy
that
because it feels like so. I think 2 years ago, Malcolm Archer set the record with 26. Then last year it was Zachary Alberts-Gill with 29. And if it gets broken again, it's gonna be 3 straight years in a row
That's
that
interesting.
this
That's
record is
crazy.
broken.
Actually, it's Malcolm Archer, spring 2014 was 25, Division
Oh,
E.
it's been that long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Simon Laporte in Winter 2015 Division 6 was 27, and now it's Zachary Alberts-Gill with 29.
So your story. So
But
your storyline was
almost one a
there.
year basically.
Yeah, and then right behind that, Marc-Antoine Vallée had 24 in spring 2017. Ryan O'Reilly had 23 in winter 2017. So they've been pretty recent, to be honest.
Yeah,
Gotta keep
but the thing
track.
is that this is a very recent phenomenon, and so like, can we we'll get back to recaps in a second.
yeah.
But look, why do you guys think this phenomenon has occurred? Because we've seen offenses get more efficient, right? Like statistically, we've actually
Yes.
Jim and I looked at that recently when it was Hall of Fame time. So offenses are moving the ball, scoring more frequently, putting up more yardage, but they're also giving up more sacks. Anyone know why? Or again, convention? I don't know.
I think. Sorry, Jim. I was going to say.
Go ahead.
Watching
former Rusher Mokan.
Yeah, former Russian extraordinaire Mokan. Watching the lower divisions for scorekeeping,
Yes.
I just think that we're seeing the long ball. You know that long. You know the whole thing like going deep back in Div 6 and 6D. Back in the old days of Div 6, when people would go long every second play here.
Yep.
I think there's that. I think quarterbacks are trying to hold on to the ball a little bit longer, trying to make that play out of nothing. And the thing is, the rushers now, I think, are much more adept to seeing what's out there. Because, like, we always say there's that line of demarcation, right? There's 1, 2, and 3 are your traditional quarterback, pocket passers, right? Once you get to 4, 4B and beyond that, it's that more of the run-around type of quarterback. And at that point, I think a rusher who might be coming in there says, you know what? I know how this guy's going to be. He's going to run around a few seconds here. If my defense can give me a second and a half of defense, I'll get that sack.
So you think it's the proliferation of running quarterbacks?
I think it is. I really think it is.
I disagree
And the
wholeheartedly
lower
with that.
divisions tend to lend themselves more towards running quarterbacks as well because
Yeah.
if the first
But then
read
aren't
isn't
better
there-
athletes getting sacked?
So I would argue that quarterbacks in the lower divisions are holding onto the ball a little bit longer, trying to see if something happens. But also the rushers can be very much more aggressive in the lower divisions. You can bull rush a guy straight for the hip, and if
Yeah,
you
well,
miss, it's not a big
Which is
deal.
why we've had to address some of the rules in rushing in Div 6.
But here's the question, right? What about the snap?
It's
the,
true.
The snap
It's true.
of the football
No, but there's
can
that,
really
but,
dictate,
well,
especially in that
because
division, though.
honestly, I'm like, for example, I'm one of the less sacked quarterbacks in Division 6, and the reason is I have a very good snapper.
Yeah, you have a snapper who can competently snap
Yeah,
the ball.
it's in my hands, it's in a spiral, and it's very quick.
But that changes everything. If you have to wait and it's a lob to you, you lose a second.
Because you're also losing sight on the reads and so on. That's a
Yeah.
good, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
But
Okay, actually, get Simo's point. 'cause
I
we
would
get your
touch
point.
on purely based on stats. If the offenses score more points, they mean they possibly have more drives, which means there's more possibility of being
The
sacked.
game is also quicker.
Yeah, if the game is quicker, there's more snaps. If there's more snaps, there's more
Yeah.
possibility of sacks. So if the same percentage stays the same, we always get, let's say 10% of plays are sacks. If there's more snaps, there's more sacks.
So also,
But then
I
we
know-
should also see 10% more increase in touchdowns.
but we are
and
though.
other
Well,
stuff.
I don't know
are.
if it's 10%, but we're seeing a fairly large, fairly consistent incremental increase in touchdowns, yards, completions.
Not
so on.
just consistency, but Styles Trudeau also mentioned snap distance.
Mhm.
So, for example,
yeah.
and going back to your example of Marc-Andre Delaunier, who's 15 yards back, you need a snapper who can get it to you reliably, but also clear that distance. Otherwise, you're 5 yards off from the rusher, and it's the difference. 5 yards off from the center, and it's the difference between a rusher rushing 12 yards or potentially 22 yards.
Yeah. So
Thank you, Styles.
just we're looking at distance. That's a good, actually good contribution as well. So snapping, definitely a big thing. You're saying speed of the game. Eagle said something about. GM said lots of mobile quarterbacks. So I know it's sports and it has to be one thing or the other, but it also doesn't have to be one
It
thing
could
or the
be
other.
all of
It
them.
could be all of these things, and likely is.
Right now, in the top 10 quarterback passing yards, right? Between the top 10 passers, 85 sacks. So each one have more or less
85 sacks.
in total.
So
Really?
8.5.
8.5 sacks
Is
per
it 6
player.
or 6D?
6.
6. Okay.
Yeah,
So
right
8.5,
now.
is that an average? That's kind of high. Odds.
That's pretty. No,
mean,
but that's
that's
8.5
one a game.
through 7 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like one a game. It's not that bad.
I don't know. I don't get sacked.
Well,
I,
think about
I know,
it.
but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's not terrible.
Only one guy has been sacked the most, Daniel Krebs, with 13.
That's a lot.
That's a
no,
lot.
we're far from the
That's
Phil
a
Cutler
season
numbers.
total.
Yeah, and then when you
What?
factor in
We're
some
far
other
from the
issues,
Phil Cutler numbers.
But that's
37 sacks.
interesting because he could potentially be the the yardage leader if not for those sacks. Because a reminder
That's
that
true.
a sack
Yep.
is also negative passing yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
And usually they're not for just a yard.
Yeah.
Most times.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. I
Moving
got derailed there, but
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. So.
Interesting game. Sick Big crushes Green Monster.
Well, after slowing down a little, it's nice to see them back on
Yeah, but
track
I mean,
against a good team too.
Yeah, but I mean, like last week we praised the Green Monster for being one of the top offenses. Mokan was saying, is Green Monster better than Sick Big? I guess not.
Well, in a one-game sample
But I
size.
mean, they scored 12
Yeah,
points.
it's not gonna
Like
work
if it
that.
would have been like a 45-44 kind of game, I would say both offenses are fantastic, but you only put up 2 touchdowns.
That's fair.
So your offense is not as good as the other one.
Okay, did you catch anything?
That I did, my friend. I in 6D and seeing what happened in 6D for week 8. That was the one game that really caught my attention was the fact that you saw Balsahar beat Black Sox 20-14 Wednesday night at Hebert. I seen how this played out in this situation. We were praising Black Sox and how they've come along as a team.
Well, this is a very good testament to that.
It is. And they lose by 6 to Balsahar University.
You have to understand, Black Sox at the beginning of the fall season were getting hammered.
Rough
Eagles there
shot.
for one of the games. Were
no, they
locked
couldn't
down,
score.
smashed
Rough
Black
They
shot.
Sox.
couldn't score,
Yeah.
and they were down like 50-0. And now we're talking they could play ball with some of the best teams in the division.
Now
Before we
they also
continue-
have probably the best player in the division, Anthony Adon, on the team. But
Well, yes, that
being
also
able to
helps.
use Anthony Adon is also important. And
It's also not the
quarterback Michael Tatsoulis is still new,
Yep.
so it's going to take him a while before he knows how to use a player of that ability.
Yes, Eagle.
I was playing on field 2 at Hebert while their game was going on, and when basically my offense on the field, I'm on the
Mhm.
bench. I was watching their game. Exactly that. He has tunnel vision, locks in a receiver and tries to make a play to him. Meanwhile, there's guys standing by themselves, and he can just easily get the check down 5 yards, move the ball, and instead he tries to go for a big play on a scramble run, try and beat a DB over his head, and it's just an incomplete pass and miscommunication. Just take what they give you. Be comfortable. You know, don't try and rush that play.
What part of it is that he doesn't know all the play calls, so he's getting a lot of help from Mike Adona, but getting the play call and then understanding how to read the
Yes.
progression is
Yeah.
different. And so if the defense doesn't do what you expect and the first read isn't there, the next step for him is to learn not to read where your receivers are, but to read where the defense is, and so
Anticipating.
therefore what part of the field is open.
But it's
Yeah.
also during the game in the huddle. It's not the time really to kind of learn a new play and be
But it's
told.
not, we also don't practice enough.
Yeah, I know, but-
it's the only time you have.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's tough in 25 seconds to
Mhm.
listen to a play call, understand what's everybody doing, and then understand the reads, and then get to the line and snap the ball. All in that in 25 seconds. It's difficult if it's a brand new play. If you're just making like audible on one of your current plays, you just say instead of doing a post, I'll do a post corner. Okay, it's not so bad. You know, it changes the reads, but it's fine. But if you're changing a brand new play with brand new schemes, it's overwhelming.
Does he have a playbook?
Ish. Well, it's some
Like a wristband or
I don't know if he has a wristband, but
He's got something to
he has
say.
a system in a sense. You know,
It could.
it's
It's a good point. It could help.
yeah.
It's-
Maybe I don't know if he has a wristband, to be honest. But if he does have a wristband, maybe it's an easy way to remember the plays. But
Well, even remember the plays. You can even kind of like draw the exact same play with different defenses drawn on it, and you're like,
yeah.
"Hey, here's my read against
Well,
this
so-
one. Here's my read against that
so
one."
because it's partially a learning podcast because
Yes.
it's a new division, right? I was telling you one of the reasons.
This show's not about learning.
Division 6 is one of the
Somewhat.
things I did to improve at quarterbacking was I literally drew my play against 4-1, against cover 2, against
Mhm.
cover 3, against the typical coverages you see, and I literally do it as an exercise before I go to games.
Well, take a pen and paper, draw your play, then draw a defense afterwards, and you'll notice by yourself what should be open and what should not.
And,
Well, hold
and
on.
what to look for, like which.
Yes.
In respect to Simon Dagenet.
No. Simon doesn't do this.
Yeah,
Simon should do
exactly.
this. But I'm saying.
No, I'm saying what to do. I'm not saying I do it.
We have
Yes,
a
yeah.
snapper shout out from Marc-Andre Desaulniers who's saying, "My snapper is good, Philippe Ossan." So we have another snapper
Oh,
shout
good.
out.
So
Pass
he's good.
catcher.
So he's like above
And
average.
so the sacks will work on Andre's fault.
Yeah. So once again, I am just reiterating: if you write in, we will read it.
Anything at all, even dirty.
Well,
Even dirty.
I'm not sure about
Simon.
that.
I'll read it.
I won't read it.
Go Depot.
I got this.
Go Depot lost 26-13. And I have a recap from the previous week in my article coming out. But Goat Depot, like they had a point in the season where they kind of looked like they were catching some steam, but
Yep.
kind of
And
DOA
then
now,
just-
you know. And now I have a question also. Goats, using the term to describe the greatest of all time. Can we put this to a vote? Is using the term goat the douchiest thing in the world? I'm voting
Well,
yes.
It depends.
It depends.
The connotation of GOAT obviously is the greatest of all time.
Or
but also,
it used to be a guy who screwed up.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like the goat in the game
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Exactly.
In French, we call it the raisin, which I find hilarious.
the reason.
What's a grape?
Okay, that's
Yes.
fine. Yes, but the raisin is
Yes.
also great, by the way.
Yes. Oh, really? Interesting.
Well, it's a dried.
Well, okay,
grape.
yeah.
Tried.
But what? No, I mean, Goat Depot could also be that they're farmers and they have a depot of goats.
We could have a farmer's
So it's
market.
not necessarily douchey. It could just be that they have a lot of milk and stuff.
But is this the they might have a lot of milk.
But if,
He
if
goes
it's an
around like-
entire depot of greatest of all time, like conceivably there would be
Or
one
many
person?
many people there. But exactly, the greatest of all time would be one person. But if it's an entire depot of them, they're
I
not.
prefer
Like
it. I
the
prefer,
collective.
I prefer it in Simo's way, where it's just
A
a
farmer's
whole
market.
bunch of bags of milk.
of a farm animal Costco, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
So
Maybe they do work
I
at
don't.
Costco.
Does either of you have a grip of either of these teams, Raw Sauce or Goat Depot?
I
'Cause
don't.
I covered Division 6 very closely, and I have no idea if these teams are good.
Goat Depot, I feel they're very streaky.
Great journalism, by the way.
He's honest about it at least. you
Well,
know?
no, I'm saying, look, Jim, I've seen the teams, and there's they've like Simon said, they're streaky, but I don't know if it's because they win matchups where they're sort
No,
of favored, or if they're just kind of not fully formed yet.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it's the latter. They're not fully formed yet. It's more like they'll attempt those 50-50 plays too often. So if it's third and something, they'll chuck it up and hope it works. If it does, cool, we scored, and then they go up, and then they don't need 50 points to win. They win with 2 and 6. So you need those plays to work 4 times in a
Yeah,
game.
but
and
it's
you're
their
fine.
offense, though, Simo. You look at the last 3 games, they've not scored more than 20 points in a game.
But that's what I'm saying. If you go with those 50-50 plays on key downs like 3rd and long, and you don't get them, and you're stuck at a 4th and long afterwards, and then the defense kind of knows what
Well,
you're going to.
You brought this to my attention, Simon. Like sometimes the second down you take a chance, but now you're on 3rd and 10.
Yes.
and that's a tough down.
Yeah.
And
So
distance in FPF.
if like we talked about earlier in the season, is if it's 2nd and 10, for instance, and you take a shot deep, it's 3rd and 10, and you have the same situation. Now the defense kind of knows they need to go 10 yards, so let's not cover anything below 5. Whereas if you take a quick shot early in second down and you go for 2nd and so you get 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 4, then the defense has to cover the whole field and not just past 5 yards.
Yeah.
And you make it easier for you. But if you haven't played a lot of football, it's difficult to grasp the concept that the defense has to cover more field, so it's easier for the quarterback to complete the pass. It's so easy to tell yourself that, well, I could just chuck it up, and if it's 50-50, I'm going to get it 50% of the time. So if I do that 4 times, I should score every time.
Well, the other thing is
It's not prestigious to go with it.
it's also
Easy stuff.
It's also what I've noticed is teams will often keep it safe on first down, and for new teams, you keep it safe on first down.
Yeah.
Then if that doesn't work though, they take a shot second down, and now again it's that long
It's sort
down.
of-
But then it
distance.
goes
Yeah.
back to the previous conversation we had, right?
Yeah.
On
It's-
second down, when they don't get it at all, yeah, that sack that happens, and next thing you know, it's 2nd and
Yeah, because he's
18.
holding the ball because he really wants that 10 yards, and then it's either 2nd and 3rd and 17, and then it's even worse. So I would say, but what we usually see is when the first down is incomplete, you see
Yeah.
quarterback go in panic mode on 2nd down. So now they try to make
They
a big
do
play and
panic,
compensate, and when that doesn't work, then the whole drive falls apart.
You know what we got to do? You ever see that Progressive commercial where they ask them,
No.
Progressive, can I claim some of my tax? We should have that, like, call-in operator that can help out these 6D teams here. Call up
What
like
do you
Addy Sharma. Hey, Addy, what should I do for our defense?
Could they
Call
ask
up Kevin White. What should I do for an offense?
But that's what I say to Div 6 teams all the time when I see them at the fields. I always say, if you see us at the field, me, Simon, Mo,
Oh, yeah.
GM, Eagle,
Ask.
Don't ask us any questions.
we will slap you.
Please,
No,
don't ask us
I
any
don't
questions.
know, but like ask away. Like the reason we have a 4-hour show every week is because we like talking about this stuff,
Yes.
right? So
If I'm scorekeeping, and I'm scorekeeping either your field or the next one, come and say hi, ask me a question.
Had they
say-
mistaken you for Kevin Wyeth. Kev, I just want to
Yeah,
ask you your
I
opinion
wish.
on. Oh God.
No, but if that's the case, I'm serious. Stop by, ask me a question. Say, listen, I'm doing this play. It's not working. and I'll try my best to help you out. And most times I should be able to. Look what I did with Peeze.
Of course. Look what you've done with
Like,
Peeze.
It's not working, but
funnily enough, I had one of those like on the Facebook on this day. Was like 6 years ago. Peeze thanking me for sticking around after my game and helping his team, and then asking me if I was going to give him back his water bottle. Spoiler alert: I still haven't given him back his water bottle.
Some fine
I've bought many
H2O.
since then.
Some fine
If only
H2O.
Simon could do what he did with Peeze to himself.
I know, right? That would be like
He'd be a better looking man.
All right, let's talk.
Also,
Let's
the one
Yes.
last game I want to talk about
Yes.
before we wrap this
4th
recap
and
up.
20.
No.
Oh,
The one team that I was very high on last week and disappoint me this week is Flunkerton. Like,
Well, they had
I
a
like
big win.
Flopperton this
Well,
week.
they beat the
Yeah,
Flamingos,
Flopperton.
right?
yeah, they
2
beat the
weeks.
Flamingos. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, so these guys are for real. They got some good players.
So
They're kind of
Kenny
catching
Butulli
up.
Kenny Butulli got hurt in that game,
Ke-
Yeah, but he's yes, but
and he's a big defensive cog for them.
I agree. But
Cog, got it. Understood something very different.
but he's not. He's an important part, but he's not the most important part neither. Like I could see them win without him. Not that he's not important,
Also,
but I don't see that as an excuse for them for losing this game against the Pack.
also since we saw that loss, Flying Flamingos have not looked right since.
Oh, interesting.
So you're saying the wings have been clipped?
Because look, they didn't look right that week. They I think Stephen Harper saw only
But that
completed
was last
11.
week, no?
Yeah, but this past week, Stephen Harper saw only completed 11. Like they won, but it's because Marc-André Delonnier threw 2 pick sixes.
Yeah.
But Stephen Harper saw only completed 11 passes. It's not like him. You know what I mean? It's an offense that's very
it's true.
It was a
No, I
bumbling
agree.
win for them.
So you're saying
Sorry?
they
A bumbling win for them.
like the score looks more impressive than the game
So you're
was.
saying that they lost their rhythm and they haven't found it back yet.
In a sense, yes.
Interesting.
Do you think that will carry over when you play them in 2 weeks?
I hope so. Honestly, I the thing
Yes,
is,
you do hope so,
when you work for the media, you know you always get everyone's best shot, so that'll never happen. But
That's true.
We paint targets on our back.
Maybe that's why I lose so much.
No, it's not why.
Were we just talking about we were talking about Flunkerton, right?
Yes.
Well, then I
Yeah,
yeah, we
transitioned
deviated to
Flying
Okay,
Flamingos.
Flamingos.
so I think that having score kept that game, Josh Vasquez looked, first of all, particularly off. He was overthrowing a lot of his receivers. They just didn't seem to be on the same page. And the Pack, where we talked about like what's happening to the Pack looked like the Pack of old. And I think a lot of that came from, and furthering your last point of getting help from an upper division player, Zach Goldstein played for the Pack last week,
That's
and
good.
it paid immediate dividends
yeah.
for them.
The thing is, they're a major hit or miss because
The Pack?
when they
Yes.
miss, they are like, woof, like what happened to this team? And when they hit, they look like a real legit
So
team. But
that's
So watching Daniel Krebs this season, I kind of realized something, and it's something I realized about. Do you guys remember Bruno Peltier of the Boozers?
yes.
And the thing is that if you rerouted his receivers even slightly, he would miss targets and understand why. Because he would throw the ball to the general area where his receiver was supposed to be.
Yep.
Right.
He'd lead every throw. And I feel like Daniel Krebs is always trying to make a very pretty throw and not necessarily just putting it on his guy.
It could be also his wind up. You ever see his wind up?
It's a long delivery.
It's like a thin
Yeah.
T-bow.
Which is
Yeah.
also kind of like Bruno Pierre
Yeah, a little
throw.
bit. Which,
Yeah.
but that is like maybe those two things are related. Like because the delivery's not compact, he can't put it directly on his receiver, so he's always leading his receiver into space,
That's fair.
which you can disrupt in FPL.
So, as someone who has trouble hitting his receivers, what do you suggest, Peeze?
Finding of the quarterback. No, it's try to develop an intermediate game where you can then stretch the field because they're worried about you hitting 10, 12 yards at a time.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, go for like short slants, drags, hooks at 2,
And-
3, 4 yards.
But also ins at 10, hooks at 12. So that way you have the two depths. And
Yeah.
that way when you do go deeper, the windows to throw deeper are larger so you can lead them into.
Or what I like to do is use the same play where you have a deep in and a drag or slant out.
and then
So
hit one or the other.
So you
yeah.
could just call the same play over and over, and then you just pick the defense according to what they do, instead of you changing your plays and hoping that they have the right defense for what you want to do.
Well, then we'll talk about some other things. Well, you know, honestly, we should do it like a hotline to call up an established quarterback.
You would
or
like
estab-
that. You would like a hotline.
Yeah. Hi, you've reached the
hotline.
FPF. Who may like to talk to? Press 1
Oh,
for
I
Kevin
thought it was
White.
like a 1-900
we could have
hotline.
like we
Press
could
2 Freddie
have
Sharma.
the receptionists be hot boys at the end of that hotline.
That's right.
Tom
You
Cobain
get-
out, so I'm gonna help you.
You get like Jim Calathris, like shirtless with candles all around him. Hi.
Press.
Well,
How can
I
I
still do have my Hot Boys Hotline jersey. Or
So
the
just
former one.
like cut it right up the middle.
That's better than Eagle being
Someone
shirtless.
calls the FPF hotline, wants to get rusher advice. They get Mokan on the phone. They hang up.
Idiots.
Who's
All
more
right.
who's more washed up? Molcon as a rusher or Brent Calendar?
Brent Calendar is.
No, I'm asking Eagle because he's the one that said Brent Callender's washed
You
up.
got to go with Brent Calendar, but ever since Mokan hurt his finger, he hasn't been the same.
True.
Okay, go eat your donuts. Go with donuts, Eagle.
Everyone here who has a Division 1 championship, raise their hand. Thank you, Mo.
Yeah, but
Everyone
back,
here
yeah, but
won
back
Division
then
One
did-
championship when there's 3 teams in FPF. Raise your hand. Mocha.
Well, there was actually
everyone at
10.
Division or a Division 1 championship when you didn't do much and the team was very good.
Actually, if you want
Actually,
a
it won't
history
be-
Okay, that's
lesson-
been one time.
Okay, turn
Will
off his
made
mic,
the play.
please.
It
Turn off his
happened
mic,
one
please.
time.
3 times. All right, turn off the mic. All right, perfect season for Vic in a box here. Yeah, farmers, not so fast. Stick movers, can they do it? And if they do get 10-0, gentlemen, would the kiss of death be employed for them in week 1 of the playoffs?
I mean, they look like good kissers, so why not? But
I don't
I
think that's
think-
what it means.
I think that, I mean, if just like it's your one last kiss, better enjoy it. But the thing
That
is,
would make a great commercial.
I know, right? I think they'll go undefeated. They should beat all of these teams.
But
But I think they may be susceptible in the playoffs
I disagree.
because
Thank you for not letting me finish.
I did. I allowed you. To
They've
finish.
played good teams. They've played one speed power. They've played the U. They've played Pension Plan. They are what we like to call battle tested, where they've played good teams, and when it comes to the playoffs, you don't get those easy games anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't need those easy games to get away. I think they're a very strong team all around, and even in the playoffs when they'll play better teams, quote unquote, they'll still come out on top.
But
there's
insofar that it's potentially possible to stop Max Bira, what do they do on offense when someone stops Max Bira?
But as it happened
Craig
before.
Browning.
Not particularly. Yeah,
But-
but Craig Browning will you win a game with Craig Browning being your number one?
Yes, because Max is being covered at that point.
No, but Max is being
So
double covered.
Conceivably, that's where I was going to lead with. Conceivably, Max is being covered by the number 1 defender and or number 2 defender.
Peace.
Styles can roll out, and it's not like it's limited to just Craig. I think that he can spread the ball effectively, and it doesn't necessarily just have to be Max. And I guess like if you're Max and you're being double covered and you get frustrated, you're just gonna make a pick or something on offense.
But we're
to
forgetting
get
something,
the
though.
ball in your hands.
Well, he'll make plays on defense. That's
We're forgetting one thing here, guys. Their defense is giving the calling card.
And
Oh yeah.
to further this, I'm a big proponent of in FPF going 10-0 is a kiss of death, and like it's much more frequent that teams go undefeated and then lose early on than go 14-0 and win a championship.
Well, it's hard to go 14-0, man.
But
It is.
Vic in a box are a strong contender to do.
They
so.
have likely the best quarterback in the division, and they have likely the best player in the division. So, like, they're the favorites.
But beyond the U, Channel 4 News, and Pension Plan, who, by the way, Vic and Box have a game on, and they defeated early in the season.
Which is also the pension plan's sole loss.
Yeah,
by the way.
that's right. So Pension Plan have to see them lose twice, essentially, to jump up on them. But the point is this, is that their toughest game might not be until the second round, maybe, if not third round of the playoffs.
But that's why I could see Vic in a box go 12-0 easier than, let's say, 14-0. But to say that if I had to put money on it and you give me odds at 12-0, I would take them. I think there's a big chance that they'll go far in the playoffs.
The biggest problem we see in higher divisions is that some team always gets a matchup in the playoffs that they just can't deal with. Are you saying that this team is immune to matchups?
But that's what I'm
but-
saying. That there's matchups out there that are not necessarily easy for them.
But here's the thing, though, right? Their closest game was against who? Pension Plan. They won by 1. Every other game they've won has been by double-digit points. And we reckon back to the point that in playoffs, you're not going to score 40 points every single playoff game. It's
So-
going to end up being a 1 point, like a 1 possession win, or not a 2-point win.
So
at that
if
point.
I'm Vic in a box, I'm hoping that in come playoffs, someone is going to take care of pension plan for them,
Yeah.
so that they don't have to face them again.
Yeah, because again, Anthony Siege is the kind of guy who has sort of the physical stature that can take away someone like Max Pura.
And they're smart enough for
And they're smart
fool me
team,
once,
exactly.
fool me
Yeah,
twice.
but knowing Vic in the box, they want that matchup again. They're the type of team that won't back away from a challenge. Say, it was a close one last time. We're confident we can beat them again. And they'll walk into the game thinking and saying that they are the favorites and they're the better team. And that's the mentality you need to have in the playoffs. You can't be hoping that someone else beats the team for you because you're afraid of playing them.
So hold that thought.
Okay, but that's just
Joe
me having-
Marzellano is also, or Marziliano is also letting us know that Pension Plan lost with a bad call from the refs on the final play of the game.
Yes, I heard them from Field 3.
Just saying.
Field 1, yes, I heard that.
But like Simon, you say, well, yeah, you're never going to a game expect lose. Yes, obviously, that's only the most obvious thing in the world.
Thank you,
That
Pete.
said, you can't tell me that you're looking at the teams yourself in a playoff race, saying I would rather play. You don't say I'd rather play this team than that team.
Okay, hold that thought.
Go ahead, say it. Lie on the show.
I've never
Lie.
done that before.
Yeah,
Okay,
liar.
coming up next, Steph Fans will join us now. We'll talk about 6 and 6D with him. We'll ask him this question. And find
He's a
his
liar
thoughts.
too.
Who is the champion, by the way? Stay tuned here and call in the Audible.
Still a liar. Today's guests on the Sportira guest line are brought to you by Sportira, the official suppliers of FPF uniforms and jerseys, as well as the home to the Sportira cage. Are you not getting your stats because your jersey is so beat up that the scorekeeper can't read your number? Don't be that guy on the Flag Plus football wall. We all know who you are. And get yourself or your team a fresh new look today by emailing info@sportira.com for quotes and details.
All right, welcome back here to Calling the Audible, 6D and 6 with Simon, Peeze to my
Hi.
far left,
It's me.
Eagle to my middle, and GM in the corner, the hot corner.
Does anyone ever say to my middle? Like, is that like a thing?
He's in the middle. Anyway, Steph Fenn's now joining us. We'll ask him if he goes over the middle for his passes. Steph, good evening to you, sir. Welcome to the Calling the Audible. Your first foray into this clown house that we have over here.
Steph, maybe we should test it.
Ooh. Yes.
Joe Marziliano said, not pension plan. Ask every player on that team. We want that matchup. He's talking about Vic in a box, and that's what we're saying is that like Vic in a box probably hope that pension plan get taken out by someone else before they make
Yeah,
it.
like secretly. Like they're not gonna tell people, but like if they do get that matchup, they're gonna argue with their girlfriends a little more that week. They're gonna
and
be more
admittedly,
slam the remote with
Style
different
says
words.
Style says he's looking forward to it. So
I like this
I mean,
guy.
Styles is a liar too. Lots of liars
I
today.
like this guy.
So, you know what? Let's have them volunteer their time. Say, you know what? We'll play each other in the first round of the playoffs, and we'll go from there.
That sounds like a good idea for no one.
Well, hey, if they want it, let's set it up for the first weekend.
Gotta give the people what they want.
Exactly.
Pension plan. Start losing games now on purpose. Throw games.
BD8.
so that way, we get
Exactly.
this
We'll
game
have you
for
guys
sure.
fall
Are
to
you
the
playing
seventh
pension
seed.
plan recently and you need to
No,
win?
we lost already this week.
We're waiting for Steph Fence, who will join us momentarily here.
Maybe.
And Steph
Hi,
Fence,
Steph, are you there?
good evening. Are you there? Steph, are you there? I guess you must have been intercepted by someone from Pension Plan.
Ooh,
Or
ayo.
anyone else.
Perhaps.
Ayo.
Perhaps. Guys, quickly here as we wait for Steph Fence. We look at the race for first place in, of course, the division that has been quite fascinating in Conference B West. Pratt Squad
you
5
just-
and 2, Tough Lungs at 4 and 3, and the Pack at 4 and 4. Do
Yes.
Lungs or the Pack have a chance to jump up and catch Practice Squad for first place? If not, is all but
no,
done.
it's done. Practice squad has an easy schedule moving forward into the rest of the season. The Pack, I don't see it. Tough
And they're a
Lungs-
game behind. The Pack are also a game behind.
Yeah, and Tough Lungs, maybe, but practice squad should not lose any of the remaining games.
Yeah, it's a tough. It's definitely a tougher road for Tough Lungs than it is for Practice Squad.
Yeah, and
And
they
Practice Squad's
ahead.
already got exactly. Practice
So-
Squad's already got the game in hand and the tie break.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me Practice Squad to lock up that division.
So we'll give them the division hats on Sunday's game for them. Here you go, guys, your divisional hats.
We don't do those.
There's hats?
Well, I'm trying to help increase the budget for the...
No, that sounds like you're decreasing the budget. 'Cause you're increasing spending.
Yeah, you're
of course.
decreasing our salaries.
Spending's the way to go. Yes.
We
you know.
actually are picking the shirt to be used for the championship teams. So what color would you like?
Ooh, maybe
Go-
a green.
Go red for what you want to do with the budget, similarly to our current federal government.
Can we
Can we do red and green so that Peeze can't tell them apart?
That's what I was
Yeah,
about to
that'd
say. Can we do red and
Purple.
green, and then Peace does the play-by-play, so it's gonna be amazing.
All right, 6D guys. The playoff seeds right now. Do
No.
we looking at 6D as we speak with the
Yes.
playoff standings right now?
Please read the script.
Yes, I'm going through the
Please,
script right
please read what you wrote.
now. Yeah, 6D.
Don't be.
What
that
did he
guy.
write, Simon?
No, I didn't write anything.
Tell the people.
Okay,
So
is
so the first line in bold and with a bazillion question marks is mediocre. What does that mean, Mokan?
Mediocre. You know what mediocre means?
Yes, but why is it on the script? And
It's
why
the
is there
heading.
no
heading,
follow-ups?
It's a heading.
But
Anyway,
why
let's-
is there question marks there?
Mediocre.
No, it's question
No, but
marks.
it's just very puzzling. Mediocre.
No, because there's also a space between mediocre and the question mark, so it's mediocre.
It's not bad. I
Exactly.
like that. I like that.
Exactly. But looking at the playoffs right now, do we have our team set now? It looks like with a 3-point gap for the 8th spot with Krakens and Brewers, or 4 points that is for Brewers and Krakens. That's going to be a tall mountain to climb with 3 games left. And in Conference B, Go Depot at 5 points, Baker Boys at 2 points. Baker Boys have played one more game than Goat Boys. Do we have our 8 teams for each side of the bracket all in stone?
Yes.
I agree with you. I don't like it, but, you know, it is what it
Yeah,
is.
and also as soon as you dumped Krakens, by the way,
They've been terrible.
they've been unstoppable.
Really?
They've outscored their opponents 52-12.
Yeah,
since then.
that sounds like what happens with my stock market.
yeah. as
That's
soon as you
why.
sell stock,
That's why I'm still here.
Oh, boy.
As soon as I sell, it goes up.
All right, Fens, Stefan Fens, are you with us now?
No,
Good
it's
evening.
not. No, it's
Oh,
connecting. That's what he said again, and then
Oh.
it was a pause.
Yes.
But I like your optimism. I like your not optimism. Your enthusiasm.
I am
It was
optimistic for
terrible.
the show up here.
So, but if anyone
Should
if
do this
anyone
eventually.
can make a jump up, who would it be? Brewers here for the beer, Baker Boys or Pine Riders, who have 3 wins.
I mean,
amongst
the
them.
most.
And Baker Boys, again, they have played 8 games. They have 2 left here. So any loss, they're done.
The
And a
mo-
win by Go Depot Raw Sauce, it's all but over, including
What
Black
do you think,
Sox.
Peeze? Mr. Analyst, Mr. Division 6.
And they have only scored 86 points.
Statistically, Baker Boys have the best chance, but are least likely to do it. So,
Steph Fans, are you with us now?
Stephanus.
I'm with you guys now.
Oh,
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
All right.
Steph,
Technical challenges, first world problems, all good.
Steph. For those who don't know, just give everyone a quick introduction as to who you are.
All right, I'm the master of the universe. I own FPF. No, but I've been with FPF since 2014. Won Div 6 championship our first year as the Heisman's. Been playing Smoking Oxalotls since then.
Axels.
This year playing Div
Why
6D. All around good guy, and happy to be here.
So what you're saying is you won Division 6 and now you're back in Division 6D. Is that what you're saying? I get you right.
But
Yeah, went up to 5A, couldn't cut it. Now I'm back to development.
He's using his veteran skills to help a developing team.
Yes, okay, be nice to him.
There you go.
Peeze.
I am being nice to him.
I like Peace's answer better.
Steph, from the teams you've faced so far, and I'll do a quick roundup here. Balso you, replacements, Brewers,
Yep.
here for the beer, Atitamine, Quackers, Air Force One. Who are the top 2 teams you played against, and which team was it laughable that they even shared a field with you?
I think so far, I mean, I didn't play Air Force One last week, unfortunately, but Quackers were definitely a tough team for like a Div 6D team to face. Not that they were really exceptional football players, but they had a lot of tall, big bodies that were really challenging to cover. And, you know, the 50-50 jump balls for a regular team were more, 80% in their favor and 20% against them. So that definitely was something that was very challenging for us to defend and play against. So I think a lot of the, especially Div 6D teams, will have similar challenges. And they definitely use the height and their athleticism to their advantage on defense as well. I wouldn't say they're a Div 6D type of defense. They're definitely, a Div 5 type of defense, if not a higher level Div 5 defense. So they're definitely a team I don't see being in that division much longer.
And who's the other good team, and who's the team that you're supposed to make fun of?
So
Come on, man.
team the team that I'm going to make fun of definitely would have to be Brewers. I mean, they just were not very good at all when we played them.
That's not nice.
I mean, I put up.
That's not nice. What is this?
Jerk
Hey,
style
I mean,
guy.
listen. I was a QB and I suck at QB, and I put up 32 points against them. So that's got to say something.
After you got advice from a fellow FPF analyst who happened to be there.
Good point. Was listening to the show, so yeah, I had a fellow FPF analyst on the sideline that game and gave me some advice and took it to heart and turned it around in the second half and really pulled away the game. So it's true. FPF, go visit the guys on the sidelines.
So then, what would your advice be to them in order to get better, until you don't laugh at them next time?
I mean, I wouldn't say just to them in particular. It's just really anybody in 6D. I mean, FPF is not a league where you just, throw a bunch of friends together and treat it as a pickup game and expect to come out and do well. You really got to put a team together that has the right players and the right roles, using the right skills they have. And then really just fundamentals. I mean, we always talk about keeping the play simple and running all hooks or running just some drags. But I would even take it in 6D, it's even beyond that, and just, making sure the players understand what the route is, and, simple things like if you're going to run a slant, make sure you're running with your head up because the ball is going to come at you pretty hard and fast. So I think really just, trying to learn the game, understand the game. There's just a ton of videos out there from Game of the Week for higher divisions that they can watch and learn and see how some of the better players in higher division teams are executing it and try and practice and mimic that.
Steph, when you look at the Division 6 playoff race right now, I'll give you the list of teams here. So the first two in, the last two out. Okay, so right now in playoff spots, you have Potatoes, 1 Speed Power in the 7th and 8th hole as we speak. On the outside, Goon Squad, Coogee Squad, and Guardians. First two in, last two out.
I think 1 Speed Power is going to be in. I definitely think. They just have too much talent on that team to not be in. And I think.
Terrible.
I know, but they have willpower on the team. I mean, all you got to do is just chuck it up to him, and he's going to bring the ball down. So pretty simple game plan there, Peeze.
You think,
and I think
wake up, Peeze.
you would think. I'd be lucky to have something like that on my team. And I'm going to go.
Stop recruiting.
Probably next year. I'm going to go with Goon Squad as the other team. Maybe more of a dark horse. They haven't put up a lot of points, but I think they've been around a couple of years, and they have some pretty decent talent that I think they can win a couple of games and get into the playoffs.
So Steph, a couple of quick questions here, just so rapid fire to end things off. You have 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions so far, right?
Yep.
How the hell did you win 3 games? How is that enough points to win 3 games?
We have a really good defense. We won 1 game 6-0. We won 1 game 6-0. So trying to be a game manager.
Never. Your last visit to Atlanta. Do you have a chance to get the Holman and Finch burger yet?
No, have not. My path in Atlanta is literally the walk from the hotel to the office and back. That's pretty much as far as I've been.
Stay a day or so. Do Holman and Finch in Buckhead, and then take a trip out to Alpharetta. Go to Hop Alley, best chicken and waffles, and excellent local craft beers. It's awesome.
We'll do it next time. Next week I'm in LA, so right now I'm just looking forward to hitting the beach.
In that case,
sorry, guy.
In that case.
I'll sing some spots in LA too. Then
enjoy the Pacific Ocean for us then.
The Pacific Ocean.
I will.
Yeah.
Steph, I got last question for you here. Playoffs are about 3 weeks away. What can the Div 6, Div 6D teams expect in terms of the difference between regular season and playoffs, having gone all the way to the championship and won?
Yeah, definitely. I think the level of intensity. I think one of the great things about Div 6 is there's so much intensity during the game in terms of, you see people going crazy just because they got a 3-yard gain. But that somehow just gets amped up even further in the playoffs. And, players are nervous, especially the newer teams, not really sure what to expect. And just amplified intensity just makes it really that much more important to execute.
Steph, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Steph.
Anytime, guys. Good stuff. Thanks.
See, the thing with Holman and Finch is, I think it's 10 o'clock. They ring a bell. It's like burger time. And they only make 24.
What?
So supply and demand.
The first supply and command right there. The first 24 orders get through, you get yourself a burger. If you're the 25th burger, you're not getting any.
That doesn't seem profitable.
Well, no, they're a they're a great restaurant and a cool bar, so they're very profitable to begin with. But burgers like an extra thing they do, sort of as the kitchen is closing down, they throw a bunch of burgers on the grill. It's actually real fun.
That sounds like the best thing.
It's amazing. It's super fun.
I mean, why are you telling me this now?
If we're gonna go to Atlanta, let's
FPF
Roadshow.
We could have used this a few years ago.
Well, Simone, you know what? With you and your way that you book flights, you can spend an extra day in Atlanta.
I would have spent an extra day. I'm not very good at booking flights,
No, you're
apparently.
not. Of course not. Job well done. You have one job to do, pal.
Mokai.
Is now time for
Games of the Week.
Excellent.
How many question marks were there at the end of that one? Was there a space between? That's the one.
As many as on the script.
So, to start it off, the U against Not Fast, Just Furious.
The U. They've been playing good football.
Give me the U.
The most adaptable defense I've seen in the division so far. Give me the U and not fast and not furious.
Kuji squad against Diablos.
Playoff matchups.
Can I not watch this game?
Yes, you
Can
can.
I
not.
volunteer to not watch this one?
No, you're gonna be there. You're gonna watch
Yeah, Diablos. You're gonna win a game here or there. This is the kind of game they can win. Give me
it.
Diablos.
Disagree. Kuja squad needs this.
Who's winning pennies?
Ooh,
Who's
home
the
team is
visitor?
Not winning
Kuji squad are the home team.
So
Diablos.
Diablos. That makes them harder to fly. Give me Diablos.
Okay.
Diablos.
And stick and movers against fighting flamingos.
Take the Flamingos.
This is the Flamingos bounce back.
Yeah, I think Stick and Movers are gonna try and get under the skin. It won't work with with the Flamingos. Just too much experience. So the Flamingos will win this one pretty handily, I believe.
Yeah,
Next.
see the Flamingos just act like they don't care.
Like Flamingos do.
Say whatever. I don't care.
Just tall and pink.
60.
Long legs.
A Déterminé against Air Force One.
AF1.
Determination has been so bad recently. AF1.
Yeah, man. The
Here
force.
for the beer against Quackers.
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 I like the Ducks.
Yeah, Quackers.
Ducks.com.
And
Don't like it though.
to wrap it up, Ball So Hard to You against Green Monster.
It's a good game.
That's a
Ball
very
so hard.
interesting game. Nah, give me Green Monster.
I was gonna say this is the kind of game Ball So Hard. We know they have like a couple of trap games across the schedule. Not kind of team that'll go like that'll win, 9 or 10 games. So I think this is the one they trip up on. Give me Green Monster.
All right, GM. It looks like you're done.
But that was 3.
Yeah, that was 3.
Thank you, Mocha, for paying
I'm
attention.
just looking at him, because he did drop in a 4th. Let's not forget that. Simo.
But he said it before. He's like, we're going to go for it.
You
here.
never know. He might drop. Even Eagle dropped in the game on us too.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was just to make sure you had to pick the small giants in a game they're going to lose.
Yeah.
That was clever, actually.
Whatever. You got lucky in that one, Eagle.
Yeah, you got lucky for sure. It wasn't planned or anything.
Not like lockdown. All right, magic words, please.
There's
for
Peeze.
more burger advice, feel free to tune in to Call in the Audible.
Can you
Good night,
Can you cook me a burger?
Yeah, sure.
Atlanta.
I'm hungry.
I mean,
Wow.
It's nice to
Wow, great. That was amazing. That was like the best sign off ever. Who's this guy?
Wakanda.